we are fixing to start college algebra. Alright, college algebra. So no more trig.
Which one do you like better?
I didn't think I'd like trig, but I like it. I like it a lot. Algebra. College algebra is easier. This is chapters 1 through 3 in the book. Okay? Now, I'm going to tell you this. When we first start out, I'm going to go pretty fast because the stuff I'm talking about is boring. Okay? You've been doing it since Algebra 1. So you did it in Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and now this is the 4th time. You should already know how to do it. Okay? So I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time teaching you how to do it. I'm just going to kind of remind you and say, hey, y'all remember when you did this? And tell you a few little things that I'm kind of thinking about. Okay? All right. So first thing we're going to talk about, this is 1.1. I'm going to cover 1.1 and 1.2, and then I'm going to give you a worksheet in class. It'll be a review for the test, and then I'll test you over 1.1 and 1.2. Okay? I'm not going to give you the review until I finish teaching you. You should get most of it finished in class, but you might not finish it all in class. You'll have to finish it that night, and then we'll test the next day and the next day. Okay? No. All right, so here we go. First thing we're going to talk about is float. All right? Tell me what comes to mind when I say float. Rise over run. Very good. What else? Delta Y over delta X. What does delta mean? The change. The change in Y over the change in X. Very good. How do you find the change in something? You subtract them. So that's where the slope formula comes from, right? Does anybody remember the slope? What letter do we use for slope? It's what you use. Anybody remember the slope formula? Y'all listen to me. It is not y equals mx plus b. That's the slope-intercept form of an equation. Okay? What's the slope formula? Very good. y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Okay? So, first of all, I want to just point some things out. These are common mistakes. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes kids make is they don't put y on top. Bless you. Alright? Y goes on top, x goes on the bottom. Okay? Look at that y. He's got a tail right there so he can hang on. Alright? He belongs on the top. Look at this x. Isn't that a good bait for a cheerleader? Yes, he would. Would that y make a good bait? No. If he'd sit on his shoulders, he'd probably have a wreck. Alright? And then, last class period, Paul said, I know, why is on top? Because he's saying, why are you standing on my shoulders? Okay? So, there it is. So, let's write down some of the common mistakes. Who goes on top?
I thought it was some common mistake that.
Let's address them in the correct way, so we reinforce the correctness. Okay? Y is on top. Okay? Y is on top. You got to tell so we can hang on. Another common mistake is that you can pick your order, but you must keep the order. Okay? You can pick what order that you want to go in, but you have to keep the order. Whatever order you start on the top, you have to keep it for the bottom. Remember these little subscripts, they say that these x and y go together and these x and y go together. Okay? And then the little trick that my sister taught me that I taught y'all, and that is to stack your points. And we circle the y. Now, we circle the y's because when you're looking at a point, what's the first thing that you come to? An x or a y? An x, and that's what makes kids want to put them on top. It's the first thing that you come to, and you always do the top first, okay? So if we circle the y's, then that will kind of keep us from doing that. We'll look at what's circled first, okay? All right, let's talk about the different types of slopes. the different types of slopes. So I'm going to draw a line, and you're going to tell me what kind of slope it has, okay? So, here's my first slope. Very good. This is a positive slope. It goes up to the right. What about this one? Negative slope. And he goes down to the right. All right, everybody okay? Okay, what about this line right here? Zero slope. Very good. Now, what kind of line is that? Horizontal line. Very good. Now, what is that going to look like? Because, you know, you're going to use your slope formula. We have delta y on the top, delta y on the bottom, delta x on the bottom. Okay? What's that zero slope? What's it going to look like in terms of a fraction? What's it going to have on top? What's it going to have on the bottom? Anything in the world, right? It's going to have a zero on the top, and you can have any number on the bottom. What is zero over any number? Okay, if you leave it like this, guys, I'm going to count it wrong. Okay? If you leave it at zero over a number, I'm going to say, what? You're in PreCal, and you don't know that zero over any number in the world is zero. Chris? No, I don't want you to say no slope. I know that some books teach it that way. I think it's a bad way to teach it, okay? Because technically, no slope is that right there. And that right there, does that look like no slope to you?
Nope.
That looks like so much slope, we could kill ourselves on it, okay? I mean, please, when you think about skiing, if you put your kid on this, is your kid going to be okay? Yeah. If you put your kid on this, okay? It's going to be bad, okay? You're going to end up like that, okay? It's not going to be pretty. So this is technically what the book is called no slope. I think it's a very poor way to explain this. Because my brain, when you say no slope, I'm like, oh, I'm going to stand out there on my ski. And I'll have a pole for a long way, but I'm not going anywhere. And that's not the truth. Okay? All right, so horizontal line. How do you write the equation of a horizontal line? That's it. Y equals some number, guys. Y equals some number. All right, so let's go over here and talk to this one. What is this slope called? Undefined. Okay? An undefined slope. Now look, to me that makes sense because someone says, undefined? How steep is that? Oh my word, that's so steep I can't even tell you how steep it is. Okay? It's just undefined. What kind of line does it make? What does it look like as far as a fraction is concerned?
Something over zero.
That's exactly right. Something over zero. Division by zero is not defined. You were taught when you learned fractions in the 6th grade that you can't divide by zero because it's not defined. That's why we call it undefined. If you leave it like this, I'm going to count it wrong. You must write undefined. Nope, we're not looking for a solution. We're just looking for a number. All right? So, but you can't find one. Will my calculator tell me it's undefined? It'll tell you, it's not going to say undefined. It's going to say error, division by zero. Because division by zero is not defined. Okay? So, how would I write the equation of this line? X equals the number. All right? So these two things down here, they're mixed up a whole lot. So I'll tell you one way that you can keep them straight. This is the way I teach my kids to keep them straight. See this Y right here? If you turned him upside down, what would he be? An H for a horizontal line. Okay? Look at this X right here. What's that? A V. Oh, there's upside down V. Oh, it's a left facing V and a right facing. It's like 4 V's all stuck together, people. Okay? I mean, he is nothing but a vertical line. All right, anybody got any questions? Okay, so I'm going to do the first example. We're going to have 3 parts to this example, and all it's going to do is say, find the slope. I'm going to work the first one with you so that I can explain to you and show you about stacking points and circling and all that kind of stuff. So, here's the first one. Normally, when people give you 2 points and they want you to find the slope through, they write it this way. -2, 0, and 3, 1. Okay? Well, my sister taught me, because she's dyslexic, and I had all kinds of vision problems until I got them all fixed. But she taught me that if we stack our points, and if we circled the Y's, the kids were much less likely to make mistakes. Okay? So M is equal to delta Y over delta X. So I circled the Y's. Why? Because y'all, when those Y's are not circled, the very first thing the kid sees is that X, and they want to put it on the top, and there's your common mistake. Okay? So I know. Now, if I choose to order 1 minus 0 on the top, then I have to keep the order on the bottom. So what do I have to put down there? Yeah, because it's going to be 3 minus a negative. Minus a negative makes a plus. All right? What's 1 minus 0? And what's 3 plus 2? 5. So this is the slope of the line, 1/5. Now, here's what I don't want you doing. I see this happening sometimes, especially for kids that are not, they don't really like math that much, and maybe it's not their best subject. I see them graphing these 2 points and doing what? Counting the slope. People, could I fix that really fast? Yeah. I mean, if I just start out with this point, it wouldn't matter what I made the second point. You're already messed up. If you have to count, you're going to miss it. Okay? So, don't do it that way. You can learn how to use the formula. Alright, so here's some things that are not allowed. Can I have, I can make this much more difficult if I put fractions or decimals in there, right? So, can I have a fraction over a fraction? No. Can I? Well, the calculator will fix it for you. But you can't leave a fraction over a fraction or a fraction within a fraction for an answer. Can you leave a decimal within a fraction? No. My calculator will fix all those things for me, alright? Okay? So, let your calculator work for you. Alright, here's the next one. You ready? You're going to do this one. Alright, I'll give you a couple minutes. I wonder if I disconnected my computer and put it over the TV, you can hear it better, but I wonder if it would still work. Well, I do too, and I think the guy's going to fix the microphone.
was thinking smaller numbers on
Okay, y'all got it? Alright, here's what I got. So, I stacked my points and circled my y's. M is equal to delta y over delta x. So, 2 minus 2 on the top, I don't know, negative 1 minus 2 on the bottom. What's 2 minus 2? What's 2 minus 2? 0? Does it matter what the bottom is? You either got a positive 3 or a negative 3, people. It doesn't make any difference, because 0 over any number is, can I leave it like this? You have to write this. Alright? What kind of line is this? Horizontal line. What's the equation for this line? Y equals what? 2. Where'd you get that, Chris? Yeah, look, people. There's, what's Y? Well, I don't know. What is Y? Well, it says it's 2 and it's 2. Okay? So Y is always what? 2. Very good. Very good. I know, that's kind of one of those questions. Alright, so here you go. Here's the next one. This is the last one we're going to do like this. 3, 4, and 3, 1. Alright, so on the top you either got a positive 3 or a negative 3, and on the bottom 3 minus 3 is 0. If you leave it like this, people, I'm going to count it wrong, okay? One person in here is going to leave it like that. You're going to miss it, alright? I'm warning you. So, undefined, okay? Undefined. What kind of line is it? Vertical line, alright? What's the equation of the line? Very good. Can I look at the 2 points and tell if it's a vertical or horizontal line? Yeah.
That's what I did. I don't know why you do that.
Okay. If the y's are the same, it's horizontal. If the x's are the same, it's vertical. Very good. Very good. Alright. So let's do one like this. Anybody know what the point slope formula is?
That's y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1.
Very good, Chris. Y minus y sub 1 equals m times x minus x sub 1. Okay? Now, did they just like make this formula up? Yes? Watch this. M is equal to, what's the formula for slope now? No, that's what intercept form. Okay, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. Alright? What would happen to this if I multiplied both sides by x2 minus x1? Pardon. Could I do that? What happens over here? And look what you get. y2 minus y1 equals m times x2 minus x1. Is that that? It is. Instead of x2s and y2s, they got x's and y's. Okay? That's where it came from. Remember that the point slope formula, you're trying to write an equation of the line. So you're going to leave this x and this y alone. You're not going to touch them. You're going to say x's and y's. Alright? When am I going to use the point slope formula? Yeah, when you're given a point and a slope and you want to write the equation of line, guess what we're going to use? Point slope formula. Okay? I mean, that's what I like about math. It's not sneaky or anything. It's just like point slope formula. Guess when you use it? Oh, when you got a point and a slope. Okay, so here's your problem. Find an equation that passes through one negative 2 and has a slope of 3. My head would hurt if I had to figure this out. So, what do we have, guys?
We don't have any patterns like
I have 4. 1 negative 2 is my point, and my slope is 3. We got point no slope. What are we going to use? Yeah, point slope formula. Y minus y norm equals m times x minus x norm. All right, what is this point? What is he representing down here?
the X and then
X sub 1 and the Y sub 1. Okay, are y'all ready?
Yeah.
So y minus, what's y sub 1? Negative 2. So minus a negative 2 is going to be a plus 2. Chris, notice how I do that. Equal to 3 times x minus, what's x sub 1? 1. Perfect. Now, what are we going to do? Distribute and collect. Very good. So y plus 2 is equal to, what do you get? All right. Now, what are we collecting? That's doing that. So we're going to subtract 2 from both sides. And y is equal to 3x what? Minus 5. And there's my answer. Perfect. Anybody got a question?
So it's negative 5, so y-intercept.
Yes, that's how y-intercept. This is called the slope-intercept form. Y equals mx plus b, and this is my slope, and this is my y-intercept. Alright, it's the way we graph 9 times out of 10. Okay, so I'm going to show you another formula. It's called the point formula. I never use it. I encourage my kids not to use it.
No,
No, because you're not going to go to college and then the professor starts talking about it and you'll be like, what? She never told us that. Okay? The point formula. Now guess when you're going to use the point formula? When you got 2 points, okay? So I'm going to write it up here and you're going to see why I don't ever use it and I encourage kids not to. It's y minus y sub 1. That looks familiar? Just like the other one, right? Equals y sub 2 minus y sub 1 over x sub 2 minus x sub 1 times x minus x sub 1. People, what's the only thing they did? Yeah, they wrote the slope formula in per eon. Okay? That's all they did. So instead of doing that, we're just going to find the slope and then use the point slope formula. Okay, so I want you to write the equation of the line. I wouldn't use that. I don't care if you do, I'm not going to count it wrong. Okay? I will do this though. If you use this formula right here, instead of my point slope formula, I will count that wrong. Okay? I'm forcing you to use the point slope formula. If you were in my class last year, I made you use it last year. And I said, you can't do this anymore. Okay? You have to use the point slope formula. Okay, so what if I give you 2 points? I'm going to give you 2, negative 5, and negative 2, 4. Okay? Those are my 2 points. I want you to write an equation. Sure doesn't. You can either one. It's going through both of them.
a mixed number, when you run it like.
No, improper fraction. Alright, y'all ready? Okay, so I found my slope, just like y'all, to be negative 9.4. I'm going to use the point negative 2.4, but you could use either point. 2, negative 5 should give you the same line that mine gives you. Okay? I plugged it all in, and that's where I am. So I'm fixing to distribute and collect. While I do this, I'm going to show you a little trick that I do. Negative 9 fourths x minus, negative times positive is negative. This is over 1, so it's going to be 18 fourths. Right, where is that? Okay. So I'm going to have to add 4 to both sides. So I'm going to add 4 over here, but over here, I'm going to add 16 fourths. I just went ahead and found the common denominator, all right? Because that's just going to make it faster and easier for me. So I get negative 9 fourths x, a negative 18 fourths, and a positive 16 fourths is a negative 2 fourths, which is what? 1/2. Okay? Now, some of you, if you didn't do that, yours ended up like this, negative 18 fourths plus 4. You put it over 1, you had to find a common denominator. Y'all know how to do this. Negative 18, got to multiply by 4, multiply by 4. And there's where my negative 2 fourths came from. Or negative, yeah, that's right. 2 fourths, which is negative 1/2. Alright, now I want to show you several ways that you can check this in your calculator, because that's important. If you're doing a worksheet or a test, being able to check your answer and know if it's right or wrong is a good skill. Okay, so I'm going to go to y equals and I'm going to plug this in. So, what was it? Negative... Alright, so negative 9 fourths x minus 1/2. I'm going to... Now, there's lots of different ways you can do it. What's one way I could do it?
Go to the line of the table.
I could go to the table. I could go second and table. And I could look at my table. There's negative 2, 4, and there's 2, negative 5. Okay? Here's another way you could do it. You could also graph it, and then you could go second and calculate. What are you going to calculate? Hey, what about value right there? Choose number 1. Look, he says, hey, you give me an X value, and I'll give you a Y. So negative 2, what was negative 2? 4, right? And then positive 2. And look, I don't have to go second and calculate again. I just go down there and press that 2. Maybe my pen. So I can just press this 2 right here, and then it will tell me that it's negative 5. Okay? There's one other way that you can do it. You can also go second and table set. Okay? Normally, when you go to second and table set, it looks like this. Alright? And you can pull up your table and all that kind of stuff. Notice I think my table was weird with this one. That's why my table looks like that. Sorry about that. But normally when you pull up a table, it's going to look like this. Alright? So I changed it. Now mine looks like yours probably. Does that look like yours? Okay? But we had changed mine, so we went to second and table set. We went down here, and we told it, what is the independent variable? What's the independent variable? X. X. So I said, hey, you asked me what the independent variable is, okay? And then he's going to tell me what the dependent variable is. So now when I table it, okay, he's saying, hey, what you want X to be? You can just plug yours in. 2. There's negative 5, and negative 2, and there's our 4. Okay? So, either way. Are you okay? Bye. Alright, so, everybody okay? Alright, we're gonna start this next problem, but we're not gonna get, we're just gonna write it down. And then we'll do it tomorrow. Okay, so here we go. Right. Really forget, might start reminding me. It doesn't work, David.
Doesn't work, David.
Doesn't work. That's my number. Okay, so, see, y'all gonna like this semester, aren't you?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, y'all. Okay, so, here's this example 3, and here's what it says. During 2000, Nike net sales, what are net sales? Yeah, their total before anything. Their net sales were $9 billion. Okay? That was 16 years ago, guys. So you can imagine what they are now. In 2001, their net sales were $9.5 billion. Okay? Here's what it wants me to do. Write a linear equation giving net sales Y in terms of years X. Okay? So that's what we're going to start tomorrow. We'll start doing that. Okay. Let's see if we can unplug that computer and bring it over here. Should I pause it? I should pause it, because then maybe we'll see if it works. This is pause, right?